Hey, I'm Lara and this is Zero. Today I'm going to run through just quickly 3 different versions of the bridge or the marker. You may have heard it called either one of those. It is the bridge between the behaviour and the reward, or it's the marker. It marks the point of the peak of the behaviour. That's why it has those 2 names. So there's different versions that you can use if you're just starting out. Something to think about. I have a few pros and cons to do with each 3 of them. One of them, I'll start with my least favourite, which is the clicker. The clicker is something most people have seen, and they've seen many people use it. The problem with a clicker is that you need a hand to use it. So it can be a problem because a lot of the times with horses you might need your 2 hands, not just one. So that's one of the downfalls of using a clicker, is that it requires a hand. Also, if you're not going to keep it in your hand permanently, even though it needs a hand to make it work, if you're not going to keep it in your hand permanently, you might have it tied to your belt so that it's there ready to use. But if you're ready to use your clicker and you're not holding it in your hand, you go to reach for your clicker, your horse will notice. That means it's a pre-cue. So your horse will notice you reaching for your clicker. That means that the horse will know, they will learn that before the clicker she does this. I know the clicker's coming, so I'll stop my behaviour now. So you end up with a shortened behaviour when your horse starts to recognise that if you're going to reach for your clicker each time. And again, then if you're not going to reach for it each time, but you're keeping it in your hand, back to that same old problem. It's also a little bit slow and it's not as precise as it really should be when we're looking for perfect timing when it comes to rewarding our horses and giving the message across so that they understand when they've done the right thing. So the next one is the whistle. Of course, many people have seen people using whistles as their marker or their bridge. There's different versions of whistles also. You can use any type of whistle you like, but it has a few downfalls the same as the clicker does. One of the downfalls of using a whistle is, yes, you need to keep it usually around your neck. And if you're not going to keep it in your mouth permanently, you need to reach for your whistle and then do this, which is exactly the same thing as doing this with the clicker. That means there's a pre-cue to using your whistle and your horse will notice. But of course you could do this and keep it in your mouth, which is actually what I used to do when I used to train marine mammals. This is what we use, is a high-pitched dog whistle. Everyone can hear it, and it's very short, sharp and precise. It's actually a very, very good bridge. And yes, we did do this. We kept it in our mouth, and this is how we lived most of our life as a marine mammal trainer. It's not ideal. I actually have a little dent in between my 2 front teeth from doing this for many, many years. So the downfalls, apart from having to reach for it, is also it can knock around. If you're riding, it does this, it kind of gets in the way. Other than that, it's actually a very good bridge and it works at great distance, which is why it's used for marine mammals. Now, the other option, and this is the option I have converted from this to using my voice. Now, there's so many advantages to using your voice. One of the advantages is you have it with you all the time. And now we're not supposed to just communicate with our horse when we're training them tricks or behaviours. We need to communicate with our horse all the time. That is, every minute of the day that you're with your horse, you should be communicating with them. And if they do something right, you should be able to tell them that without having to do this. You can just simply say the word. Now, the word that I use is the word good for many different reasons as well. When you say a word as a human, if you're meaning what you say and you're not lying, if you're meaning what you're saying and you say the word good, it's written all over you. So energy, we all know horses pick up on energy, and if you're using the word good and you genuinely mean it because you're very happy with what your horse is doing and you say good, it sounds like you mean it, you do mean it, and it's written all over you and your horse recognizes that. So that's another reason that I use the word. It also means, apart from the daily life that you're doing with your horse, where I was suggesting that you can use it any time, no matter what you're doing, moving, paddock, feed time, doesn't matter what it is you're doing, you can always use the word. But also, let's say you're riding your horse, you can use it then as well. I use it when I compete. So when my horse is doing the right thing, I have 2 different versions of the good. I have good, which means, and I say it like this, good, which means yes, you've done the behaviour correctly. You can stop doing it and you may get a reward, scratch, pat, biscuit, stop work, anything like that, but it means that they've done the right thing and they fully understand that. Now, the other way that I use the word is I have two different versions, and this is the advanced version of using the word good and having a bridge. Is my second version of the word good is I say good boy, and I do have 4 geldings, so I stick to the boy part. But what I do is I up the tone a little bit. It doesn't sound like good, it sounds good boy. And so the way that I can use that type of bridge is my horses have learnt, because I trained them, that when they hear good boy and we're riding or they're doing something requiring movement, it means that I can say good boy, meaning yes, you're doing the right thing, but keep going. So I have those two different versions of my bridge, and both of them work very, very well. But the key to all of that is that you need to train it first, and you need to train it properly so that your horse understands. But anyway, I hope that helped. That's 3 different versions of the bridge. That is a clicker, a whistle, or the word good. But when you use the word good, like I said, you can have the 2 different versions, which means it comes in handy if you're in competition, or if you're simply just riding and teaching your horse something, but you're not quite ready for him to stop what he's doing yet. So anyway, I will see you on the next one. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification, like and comment.